Good morning, traders. Today is Monday, June 7th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. It's Monday. All right, guys, let's take a look at what happened on Friday. Okay. The market created some excess with a push higher, where it broke out of a previous balancing range that it had been stuck in for the week prior. It created quite a bit of excess early on in the morning. We have a gap that remains unfilled from Friday, and then the single prints in the A period below us. It also left a set of single prints in the middle of the day, creating a double distribution higher, and the second distribution of the day just balanced at higher prices. Okay? So that's basically essentially all bullish information that we're starting with right there. So the overnight market over the weekend, it traded just slightly higher to repair the poor high, got a few ticks up there, created a poor high of their own in the overnight, and then the market pushed back down into the range. It came down and filled those single prints and then repaired the weak references. We don't count them as officially repaired if they happen in the overnight session. They need to be repaired in the regular trading hours, meaning the market during the New York trading hours needs to trade down here and get through these levels that you see with the red markings here for them to be repaired. If not, we're leaving them behind as weakness below. Okay? That is not a good thing because we are so close to the all-time highs, which are up here at 4238-ish, okay? Those are all-time highs. So with the market being that close to all-time highs, we don't want to have weak references below us as we push higher to it, as it increases the odds that we will fail at that all-time high and pull back in. Okay, so we want to, in a perfect world, if we're bullish and we want the market to go higher, we want the market to first come down today and repair these weak references like we did in the overnight. Find support. Beautiful place where they found support overnight. So just like that, find support somewhere inside Friday's range without having to trade down into the gap. That would show acceptance of the push higher via time, and the market can continue to the all-time highs and be a little bit more secure at these levels. Okay? 2 minutes to the market open. We are opening inside of yesterday's range. That increases the odds that we will have chop early on in the day here and not necessarily take a direction first thing in the morning. So it might behoove a trader, whoops, wrong thing down there. It might behoove a trader to wait and let the market kind of churn and chop here early in the morning for the first half an hour to hour or so and figure itself out first before taking positions. Okay? Support to the downside is going to be the base of the single prints. If the market trades down here to that 42.23 level, okay, and it finds support right there, that is a good level for support, and the market could trade higher, so you might be looking for a long there, but just keep in mind you got the weakness below. That is the next level of support, would be the repairing the weak F period low, so you can consider it this node of volume right around 42.17. That's the next major support. Then the low of the day, the top of the gap, is the next support, and then, of course, the bottom of the gap, right? So the market could trade down to any one of those levels. If it finds support at one of those levels, I will be looking for positions to go long. If it gets to the bottom of the gap down here at, just call it 4,200. It's at 4,202, but we'll just call it 4,200. If it gets down to that level, that 4,200 level, and it can't find support there, I'd be looking to go short for continuation to the downside. All right, the market is open. So once again, expecting chop early in the day here. Market internals opening bullish, but they'll need a few minutes to settle in. Good morning to RK Leon. Welcome. Phoenix is here. Good to see you. Welcome. Nor Auto Trading is back with us. Good to see you, brother. Philip is here. Good morning. Stanley is back. Good morning to you as well. Marco here with us. Good to see you, Marco. Design Knob back in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Welcome. Royal Prince is here. Good morning to you. From South Africa. Very cool. Naif is here. Good morning to you. Donkey in the house. Good morning to you. And Shane. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Please take a moment while we watch the market chop here this morning and try to figure itself out to just hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. If you like the feed, it tells YouTube, hey, this is pretty cool. You should show this to other people. Pug Pack back with us. Good to see you, brother. Welcome. Hit the like or walk the plank. That's what I say. Leighton is here. Good morning to you. Welcome. Dr. Vijay, hit me with that like. Appreciate you, brother. Good morning, Jamie. Welcome. Quick look here at the SPX, just to remind everybody how close we are to the all-time highs there. Right on the edge. Call it 42.37. Relax, Keith. Thank you, brother. Welcome. And Robert, good morning to you. Kathy, yes, I am still in the June contract. Somebody just mentioned in the Discord that it rolls over this week. I totally forgot about that. But yep, still in the Junes. Yeah, on the CME rollovers, for anybody that's new to futures, this is something that kind of pops up usually when we get to this. The way it works with the futures contracts is that there are multiple contracts available to trade at all times. So there are people right now who are already trading the next contract. I tend to roll over on whatever the official day is. So just looking at the CME, you can literally just Google CME rollover dates and it'll take you to their website. And so that we can see for this one, it's on the 10th, which is Thursday. So I just roll over on that day. And what that basically just means is I take my trades on the new futures contract and I watch the new futures contract. I update to the next one on here. And yeah, I just switch and then I start trading. And sometimes there's arguments about, oh, you should wait a day or two and then you switch or whatever. I just tend to switch on the day of the rollover. Sometimes there's 1 or 2 days where there's weird volume. More people might be trading the old contract. But I just roll over on the official day and start trading the new one. And I just watch whatever contract I'm trading. Top of the morning to you, Joshua. Yeah, Marco, I bet you that 8,000 is just spoofing. Yeah, I think Thinkorswim rolls the next day, so it would roll Friday. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's one of those things. Thank you, Brian, for the heads up on the CME. It's one of those things. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Some people are super obsessed with rolling over at exactly the right moment. I just, whatever day you're supposed to roll over, I just start trading that contract. Because I don't hold trades overnight that often. So for me, I'm starting fresh each trading day anyway. So just come Thursday, I start fresh on a new contract. Okay. Dr. Vijay is saying they will roll on Thursday for Thinkorswim. Let's take a quick jump over to the NQ. Well, you're right. It dipped back down in there. Back down into that balancing area. Now, the one thing I will say that's like, and I know every time I add nuance to things, to rules that we have, it drives people crazy because they're like, no, but you said always if it goes into a balancing area, it's going to rotate to the opposite end. This is one of those things where we have so much excess from Friday. I mean, just look at the NQ here. I mean, a straight push higher, and then we balanced up here at higher prices. Yeah, we kind of pulled back into the balance area a couple times, but we basically balanced above it. Same thing with the overnight. It traded down below the balancing area, but most of the volume and most of the time was spent above it. Again, here we dipped down into the balancing area a little bit, but it's like now I'm not as obsessed with this as like, oh no, if this can't hold, we're going to go to the opposite end of balance. Like there's obviously, we can just tell from this push higher and the the acceptance of this higher move, that there is an appetite for prices to go higher here in this market. So I'm not quite as obsessed with this exact level anymore, but of course, the balance rules are still in play. If by the end of the day today, the market is below this line, it will increase the odds that we're pushing back down to this one, the balance area low. But I'm not going to obsess about it this morning if it passes through there a few times. Let's just give the market a chance to get some support and some acceptance at these higher prices, particularly the connection between the NQ and the ES. The ES is well above that balance area, and it had a good clean breakout. So if the ES can push higher today, so will the NQ. Okay, market just having some chop here early in the morning, trying to figure itself out. Totally normal, being that we opened inside the previous day's range. Once again, first support on the downside is going to be the base of the single prints, then the repair of the weak references, and then if those can't hold, Friday's low. Okay, internals pulling back a little bit here early in the morning. No real clear signal just yet. Okay, so we're starting to get a bit of a trend down in the ticks here. They're not quite bearish yet. They're all above the zero line, but it's starting to send in that direction. It's starting to trend in that direction. And we're about to test that 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles here on the SPX. So I'm watching that for support. Once again, base of the single prints here at 42.2350. First potential support there. If not, the repair of these weak references below. I don't start to get bearish. I don't start to worry about any of this until we get below yesterday's low. Finding support anywhere inside of Friday's range is more of a bullish thing to me than bearish. So if we find support anywhere in here, I'm bullish. If we start to get through this node of volume just below the week F period low, I'm starting to get bearish. And then the break of the bottom of the gap, I'm sorry, the top of the gap, the low of Friday, to my mind, increases the odds that we fill the gap. So that becomes a short to fill that gap. Let's wait and see what happens. Okay, we're through that 15. That did not hold the support. Neither did the base of the single prints. Okay, we got thin volume on the way down here around the 42.25 level. These will likely need to be backfilled at some point today. Unless the market turns out to be really bearish and it never comes back here. But I don't think that will be the case. All right, well, with the printing of the B period, they took us straight down here to create a little poor low. Okay, if we repair the poor low and get 2 more ticks to the downside, that will create 1 time framing lower, which will be a bearish nuance to keep in mind. As well, we pushed down through the 15 moving average, and when we attempted to get back up through it, it worked as resistance, so that's another bearish thing to keep in mind. The internals continue to trend lower. The advancers versus decliners are now through the 0 line, which is bearish. And the ticks aren't quite getting below the 0 line. They're just kind of wicking down there. But if they pull through and the bodies get below, that also is bearish. So it's looking like the market is starting to give us signals it needs to pull back a little further to bring in the support. So once again, the next major support to me is this node of volume just below the week F period low. So the idea is the market trades down here, repairs the low at about 42.1725. Then it finds support right around there. Next target is the low of the day, and then the bottom of the gap. Okay. Jitten, no, that's just that 19, the 1-9. Sorry, they're just like overlapping. That's just showing the number of TPOs that were in the overnight. It just coincidentally is overlapping that price level. But no, there's only 2,700 contracts traded there. $110 people watching. Please smash that like button. For those of you that are just joining us, the market is balancing here early in the day. It's looking for support at these higher levels. First, we repaired the single prints that we left behind from Friday. Now we're working on repairing these weak references. And then we're hoping that the market finds support somewhere in here so that we can look for a long trade. If that fails, if we don't find support here, we're looking for a short. Should the market not be able to find support, so essentially go short with the failure of this as support, and then monitor for continuation if the low of Friday doesn't become support for the base of the gap, the bottom of the gap, which would be Thursday's high at 42.02. But again, I don't think that's what we're doing today. I think we're going to find support once we repair these weak references and then either go rotational, go sideways, or push higher. I don't really feel a bearish appetite in this. As it should, Jin. If they sold 1 million contracts at a particular level one day, that should definitely make your eyes pop out. That would be crazy. All right. Well, this sell-off is bringing some tempo in here. Okay. But once again, I'm not really terrified by this. Just looking at the ticks, every time they start to push below the zero line, they pull back above. So the advancers versus declining, trending down is bearish. But I'm not convinced the ticks are just yet. So we repaired the first two of those weak references. Let's see what happens. Again, this node of volume right here around 4216-ish, this area. Can we find support here? If not, targeting the low of the day. If that cannot hold, targeting filling to the bottom of the gap left from Friday. Let's see what happens. For NQ, I would say the next support is the base of their single prints here in the B period, which is at about 13,705. If not their halfback, which is at from Friday, which is at 13,694. Okay, for the NQ. Fausto is with us. Good morning, brother. You short the market? You want them to dump it? I don't know. I'm not seeing much of a bearish appetite here. I know they're pushing price lower, but they did have all those weak references that needed repair. And repairing them makes the market stronger. Fausto's flat. You and me both, brother. News blip. I think that's a great trade. You may get a little bit of a squeeze when they go back down there to repair that weak F, but I don't think it's going to go much further than that. So I think that's a great position to be in for the rest of the day. But that's just one humble man's opinion. Or I should say, one man's humble opinion. I'm not a humble man. Not by any stretch. Yeah, Fausto, I love everything you're saying there. That is exactly how I want you analyzing the market. Seeing the one time framing, but then measuring risk versus reward. Cumulative. Well, I put it back up. It was up for one day. It was correct. It was good on Friday. So that's 1 point for the cum. We'll start tracking it here live on the show. Yeah, there's nothing that stands out to me about 219 as a number on the low, other than the fact that it's just not good taper, right? To go from 1,800 contracts to 1,500, that's good taper, but 1,500 to 200, not good taper. Increasing the odds, the market needs to push back down there and get a little bit more two-sided trade before it finds strong hand support. You guys with this cumulative tick. Oh, you're cracking me up. Jason, Charles, do you strictly look only at live real time info, or are you being fed to make decisions? You are being fed to make decisions, or do I look at historical charts? Yeah. Pretty much whilst I'm trading intraday, like right now at this moment, yeah, I'm just looking at what's happening in the market right now in real time. But I do often, before I start trading in the beginning of the day, this morning was an example. I just open up the monthly, weekly, and daily charts, usually on the SPX, and just take a quick look just to give me some perspective of what's happening over a longer term time period. But of course, I just take very short day trades. I'm not usually in a trade for longer than an hour or two. So that's really my main focus is like what's happening right now, this minute in the market, what's likely to happen over the next hour or so, as opposed to, what's going to happen over the next week or whatever. That's just not really my cup of tea. But yep, I always want to look at those just to get perspective. Okay, it looks like we might have just gotten our first candle on the, our first candle on the ticks that closed bearish below the zero line. So that's noteworthy. Along with the advanced reverse decliners continuing to trend lower. Again, not quite enough to get me bearish, but I'm taking note of it. It could be the beginning of something that could make me bearish. Still looking for support right around this 42.16 level. Also printing the C period here, we've left behind some single prints in the B period. Those are likely to be backfilled at some point today. Of course, I said that on Friday as well, and it took until this morning for us to repair those. But yeah, likely to get backfilled at some point today. Okay, creating a poor low, just a tick above that weak reference. It's a sign that it's short-term traders doing business here. All right, guys. Well, I'm sorry to call it a day here at such a pivotal moment in the markets. Um, this will be a big one. Can we find support right around this node of volume here at 42.16-ish? Can we find support here and begin to rotate higher today? Or do we continue to trend down through this level, through the low of the day, and then to the bottom of the gap left behind on Friday? That will all depend on whether we can find support right here. For those of you that are members of the brigade, give me about 5 minutes and then head on over to piratetraders.io/live, and I will see you all on the private live stream. Thank you guys very much. If you're looking to join, there is a link in the description below. It only costs $10, and then you get me every day, all day, whether you like it or not. All right, so I look forward to seeing you all there. If not, we'll see you here tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.